Hello, everyone, and welcome to Outstanding English. My name is Todd Elprovitz. Today is a special day here in Taiwan. I don't know if I've told my viewers before. Maybe some of you have heard me say it before, but I live in Taiwan, and today is actually a national holiday here. It's Moon Festival. So for today's special lesson, we're going to go over some vocabulary about Moon Festival, kind of talk about how it is celebrated in Taiwan, and also go over three stories about Moon Festival. So Moon Festival is also called the Mid-Autumn Festival, the middle of autumn, and it's celebrated on the 15th day of the 8th month of the lunar calendar. So lunar means moon. So the 8th month of the moon calendar or lunar calendar on the 15th day. And it's not only celebrated here in Taiwan, it's also celebrated in China, Vietnam, Korea, Singapore, Japan, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. If I left someone out, I am sorry about that. But I'll be going over how it's celebrated here in Taiwan because I'm the most familiar with how it is celebrated in Taiwan versus other countries. So my first special vocabulary word about Moon Festival here is pomelo. And a pomelo is a kind of fruit. I got one right here. And these are available around Moon Festival time, so in the autumn. They're kind of like a grapefruit in how they taste, but they are a little sweeter than a grapefruit. They're kind of a pain to peel, so I'm not going to peel one here today, but you can see in this picture what the edible part looks like. There's also a red version of these. The inside part is red, but the outside still is this light green color. And people love pomelos because the Chinese word for pomelo it sounds the same as a word for a blessing. So it's quite common to buy a lot of pomelos around Moon Festival. I think I have a whole box full of them downstairs, and they stay ripe for a long time. So in a couple weeks, they'll still be good, and they're just sitting down waiting for us to cut them up and serve them to each other. And my next special word here is what people do with the rind of a pomelo. The rind is the outside part of a citrus fruit. Citrus fruits include pomelos, grapefruits, oranges, lemons, and limes. So they like to make a pomelo hat. And if you have friends from Taiwan and they have small children, it's common to see them making pomelo hats for their children and getting some cute pictures of their kids. Here is a cat modeling a pomelo hat. This cat does not look too happy about wearing a pomelo hat, and I don't blame him. So my next special word here is mooncake. Now, mooncakes are often served during Moon Festival also. They can be filled with a lot of different kinds of things. Some have nuts inside, some have salted egg yolks inside, some have like red beans or green beans inside. And I have one right here, so I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, it's coming apart right there. So this is what it looks like. Now you can see, I'm gonna focus. Okay, there it is. All right, there you go. You can see. And I'm gonna cut this up so you can see the inside. All right, let's give it a little chop here. And this one, okay, this looks like it is a red bean and salted egg yolk mooncake. This is actually probably my least favorite variety of mooncake, but I'll take a bite here just to show you. All right, I'll take a bite here for everyone to see. Definitely not my favorite. Definitely not my favorite. I much prefer the green bean kind. We got a question here while I finish chewing. It says, "What's your favorite flavor of mooncake?" I definitely prefer the one with nuts, the Uren variety. I definitely don't prefer this kind. So wait a moment, I'm gonna go off screen for just a moment. Okay, thanks for sticking around. I think I got most of it off my teeth. All right, and the thing with mooncakes is they make you really thirsty when you eat them. Unfortunately, I didn't bring a drink up here, and pomelos are not juicy at all. So I'm going to be stuck being thirsty for the rest of this class. Luckily, it's kind of a short class today. So thank you for the question. If you do have questions, feel free to let me know in the chat or to put your questions in a comment if you are watching the replay. And over here, my next special word is barbecue. So people in Taiwan love to barbecue during Moon Festival. I have a barbecue grill here, a picture of a barbecue grill. And there's a reason why people barbecue during Moon Festival in Taiwan. And we need to look at the next vocabulary item for me to explain why. Here we have the words marinade and barbecue sauce. Marinade is something you brush on the meat or whatever you are going to grill before you cook it. And barbecue sauce is something you put on after you cook it. And sometimes they're interchangeable. And people in Taiwan, they started barbecuing during Moon Festival because in the mid 1980s, there was a television advertisement for a barbecue sauce. And in this advertisement, the company said something along the lines of, having the whole family together barbecuing is such a wonderful experience during Moon Festival. So now a lot of people barbecue during Moon Festival in Taiwan. So pretty special there. And my next special item is charcoal. This is what you put in the barbecue grill to heat your food. And charcoal is made from like peat or coconut shell or wood. It's kind of compressed and heated at a high temperature. You see it in the big bags at stores. And each individual piece of charcoal is called a briquette. That's the French word for brick, but you'll probably never need to know that. And when you are barbecuing, you may need skewers. These could be either metal or wood, and they're for holding whatever you are grilling on a stick. They're like the sticks you put your meat or mushrooms or bell peppers on, or whatever it is that you're grilling and barbecuing. So my next special word is something that people often like to drink during Moon Festival is cassia wine. Sometimes it's called osmanthus wine. And this is named for the flower you see on the left here. It's a very sweet wine and it's best served chilled. So people like to drink this during Moon Festival while they are barbecuing. And we didn't have many vocabulary items today. So here's a little check for understanding. If you can answer all these, great. If you're having some difficulty with them, feel free to replay this lesson later. The first question says, where is Moon Festival celebrated? If you can name more than 4 countries it's celebrated, that's great. My next one, when is Moon Festival celebrated? Okay, and don't say today, okay? When is it celebrated on the lunar calendar? Which date? And my next question to check for understanding, what do people eat during Moon Festival in Taiwan? The picture should help you out a lot. And what can you make with the rind of a pomelo? So great job with all those if you got them all. And my next section here is I'm going to read 3 stories to you. These are kind of origin stories of the Moon Festival. So the first is the legend of Ugang. All right, and I'm going to read this to you and we'll have some questions about this story. So pay close attention. It says, long ago, there was a man named Ugong who lived on Earth. He was known for his laziness and irresponsibility. One day, he committed a serious offense, and as punishment, he was sent to the moon by the Jade Emperor, the ruler of heaven. Oh, don't want to cross the Jade Emperor. On the moon, Ugong had the impossible job of chopping down a large osmanthus tree. However, this tree was special. Every time Ugong cut it down, it would magically regrow, making his task never-ending and his punishment forever. Today, you can see the shadow of Ugong on the moon chopping down the osmanthus tree. So maybe you can see in this picture, maybe you can faintly see Ugong here chopping down the osmanthus tree. So my questions here, what was Ugong known for on Earth? Where did the Jade Emperor send Ugong? And why couldn't Ugong chop down the osmanthus tree? All right, if you remember, that's excellent. And then my next story we have today is the story of the Jade Rabbit. And this tale begins, once upon a time, there were 3 animals in a forest, a fox, a monkey, and a rabbit. One day, the Jade Emperor, the ruler of heaven, wanted to see which animal was worthy. So he sent 3 immortals from heaven to earth. They dressed like poor old men and begged for food from the animals in the forest. The monkey and the fox found food for the 3 men. The rabbit was too small and couldn't find any food. Since he couldn't give them anything, he told the 3 poor men that they could eat him, and he hopped into a fire. The 3 men were so amazed at the rabbit's sacrifice. They brought the rabbit to heaven, where he lives on the moon as the Jade Rabbit. So what 3 animals lived in the forest? Who is the ruler of heaven? What did the rabbit do to help the men? And where does the rabbit live now? All right, my third and final story today is the legend of Hou-yi and Chang'e. So take a look at this beautiful picture I made. If you look closely, you can see 10 suns. That's pretty hot. In ancient times, there were 10 suns in the sky, which caused great hardship for the people on Earth. The sun scorched the land, dried up rivers, and made life unbearable. The people prayed for help, and the Jade Emperor, the ruler of heaven, heard their pleas. He summoned Hou-yi, a skilled archer, to solve the crisis. Hou-yi took on the challenge and climbed Kunlun Mountain, the highest peak in the world. He used his powerful bow and arrows, which were made from the branch of a divine tree, to shoot down 9 of the 10 suns, leaving only 1 to provide light and warmth to the earth. For his heroic deed, the Jade Emperor rewarded Hou-yi by giving him a vial of a potion that could make him and his wife Chang'e immortal. However, Hou-yi did not immediately drink the potion, as he wished to live a long and happy life with Chang'e. Word that Hou-yi had the potion spread, and he became a target for those who wanted its power. One day, while Hou-yi was away, a wicked man named Pong Meng tried to steal the potion. Chang'e, fearing its misuse, drank the potion herself to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. Upon drinking the potion, Chang'e found herself becoming lighter and lighter until she floated off the ground and into the sky. She ended up on the moon and becoming the moon goddess. She lives there today with the Jade Rabbit. Hou-yi was heartbroken when he returned and discovered what had happened to his wife. Hoey was devastated by the loss of Chang'e and tried to shoot down the sun to reach the moon and be with her again. However, he soon realized that it was an impossible task. Instead, he spent the rest of his life performing good deeds and helping others. So, here are my questions to check for understanding for this story. In ancient times, how many suns were there? What did Hoey use to shoot down the suns? And what happened when Chang'e drank the potion? And we got a couple questions here. Which holiday do you like more, Lunar New Year or Moon Festival? Well, I do like having more days off for Lunar New Year because it's quite a few days where I don't have to work versus Moon Festival, which is one day off. However, I prefer the food during Moon Festival over the food during Lunar New Year. So I like the food during Moon Festival more. Maybe once it's Lunar New Year time, I'll make a special lesson about Lunar New Year, but I won't eat any food while I'm having my lesson. That was kind of a small disaster right there. Thanks for that. And Dan here. Hello, Dan. Welcome. Thank you so much for the applause. And I love your little avatar there. Always my favorite. And thanks for joining, everybody. And if there's any confusion about any of these words, be sure to check the replay. I'll add chapters probably tomorrow morning for you to check out. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. And if you are celebrating Moon Festival now, have a happy Moon Festival or Mid-Autumn Festival. And everybody, I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.